Now, if you've applied for a job and uploaded your resume to one of those online platforms like Indeed or Reed or LinkedIn, and you haven't heard anything back, it's just been crickets, or you get a rejection, then it can be so depressing and soul destroying, especially if it's a job that you've really set your heart on. And let's face it, it takes a lot of effort to put together a resume. And when you don't hear back or you get rejected, it's likely because your resume has come into contact with a robot or what's known as an ATS or applicant tracking system. Now, if your resume doesn't pass the ATS, then it will never be seen by an actual human. So in this video, I want to go over the things that you need to do to pass this applicant tracking system so that your resume gets through to the next stage of the recruitment process. Now, the thing is that there are so many companies that are using these ATS systems, including big ones like Netflix, Amazon, IBM, and many others. And they're also being used in various sectors such as education and health. And why do these companies and organizations use ATS systems? Well, it helps them to quickly filter through hundreds or even thousands of applications that they may receive without having to, I guess, employ someone to physically go through all those applications, which, as I guess you would agree, would take a very long time. And the bottom line is that it saves these companies money if they don't have to hire somebody to do that. So let's take a look at the things you can do to increase your chances of getting past the ATS. First of all, I want to talk to you about the layout. Now, I see many clients, and when they come to me, often many of them come with very fancy CVs that they've created on Canva. So here on Canva, we've got this wonderful looking example of a resume, but it's full of design features that I think the ATS system could struggle with. And also we've got a photograph here, which is unnecessary. The ATS systems, many of them do not deal with reading icons or images easily. Also, then we have these skill set bars here. These I find they're quite difficult for humans to read, and I think they will also be difficult for the ATS system as well. They're also quite old-fashioned, so I would just avoid those. And then these kind of like half donut type of charts here with the language indication. I would just also forget these. I would say, stick to the conventional. If you speak in some language like Indonesian, you can say advanced. If it's French, maybe lower intermediate. Just avoid all of these icons and chart things. They're just not necessary. So again, here we've got a lot of creativity here in this resume. This design, all this big shading here, all of these types of this kind of layout is probably going to confuse the ATS system. And also these types of like icons and circles everywhere. Here we've even got a spelling mistake in the Canva. But yeah, so you need to really be careful of using these types of resume templates. So I would advise you not to use these templates, as tempting as they are, especially if you're going to upload your resume online. However, you can, if you're meeting the employer in person, maybe at a recruitment day, open day, or jobs fair, then yes, by all means, use one of these resume templates. But when it comes to the ATS system, a simple layout is so much easier for it to read. So one of the major steps that you can take to get your application through is just to have a nice, simple structure. Now, we've kind of touched a little bit on formatting when we've looked at the layout, but I want to just say a few more words about formatting. Sometimes I see clients who've used fancy fonts, and I've seen many resumes that have got different fonts of different sizes and different styles, and this isn't a good look. And neither is it good for the ATS system. So I would suggest you stick to a easily readable font such as Arial, Calibri, or Cambria. And definitely none of these curly handwritten style fonts. Yes, they may look lovely and creative, but as I said, the ATS system will not like them. Now, let's talk about structure. You need to have a standard structure for your resume. And what I mean by that is that it should particularly have the headings that the ATS system is expecting to see. Now, many people do like to have a summary at the top about themselves. I would advise you to stick to the heading of professional summary and not something like about me. And I advise you to have a heading of key skills. This is probably the best heading for listing all of your skills because it's just clear and simple and easier for the ATS system to understand than if you put something like abilities and achievements. And when it comes to the heading for your jobs, I would suggest employment history, but you can also use work experience or professional experience. Those are also acceptable to the ATS. When you're detailing your education, just keep it simple and use education as a heading rather than something like colleges attended or places studied. Let's talk about a really important part of passing the ATS, and that's keywords. Keywords are those words that you will see over and over again in the job description or person spec. So, for example, let's have a look at this job for a youth worker at a venue called the Roundhouse. So here we can see it says that they want to give young people the chance to engage with arts through music, media, and performance projects. And they're looking for someone to support and encourage a diverse range of young people aged 11 to 25 years old, also to provide a first point of contact for all Roundhouse young people. If we look at the main duties and responsibilities, we can see that it says here again about the reception area and providing a welcoming environment. It says here about administration and paperwork and using the CRM system, directing phone calls and email inquiries, maintaining the membership database. And if we go down to the person specification, here it highlights working with marginalized, disadvantaged young people aged 11 to 25, dealing with challenging behavior, safeguarding for 11 to 25-year-olds. Again, we have reference to the CRM system. So we can see certain words and phrases repeated again and again. So these are our keywords and keyword phrases. And you need to make sure that these keywords are sprinkled throughout your resume. You can put them in the personal profile, definitely put them in the key skill section, and try and put some of them in the descriptions of the previous jobs that you've had. Now, one quick way to find out if you're hitting all the keywords is to copy and paste or upload the job description and person specification up to ChatGPT and ask it to identify those keywords. So here we have it. It's gone through those documents now. And yes, let's ask it to put these keywords into a clean bullet point ATS keyword bank. That's great. Now we've got all those keywords that we need to try and make sure that we put into our resume. And like ChatGPT is offering here, it can rework your resume or CV so that these keywords are naturally embedded without keyword stuffing. Now, you will have to carefully check what ChatGPT produces for you. Make sure that you're happy with the way that it's integrated those keywords. You can also ask it if you're not happy with what it's given you to make adjustments that you want it to make or need it to make. So, just to recap, these are the three main things that you need to think about when it comes to beating the bots or the ATS system: the layout, the format, and also those all important keywords. If you follow this advice, you should find that you have more success in getting your resume through the ATS process, more chance of your resume being seen by an actual person, more chance of getting an interview, and finally, hopefully, more chance of getting that job that you're going for.
Oh my gosh, I got the job. I can't believe it. Yes.
If you like everything that I've covered in this video, then I've put it all in a free checklist, which you can access by clicking on the link below. Now, if this video helped you, please like it. It really does help me out. And subscribe to the channel for more tips and news about job hunting in the age of AI. Good luck with your job search, and I'll see you in the next one.